Welcome to the open book, where every voice matters. Every story got layers, and every conversation opens something new. Turn the page, turn the page, turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Welcome to the open book, where the real conversations flow. Turn the page, turn the page. Turn the page, every story got meaning. Every perspective shows. Turn the page, turn the page, turn the page, turn the page. Late night talks with the smooth bass knocking. Whole room tuned when the topics dropping. Authors, culture, real life views. Open book vibes bring a whole new groove. No fake energy when the dialogue starts. Different perspectives play a major part. From page to podcast, the vibes stay deep. Real conversations every single week. Welcome to the open book, where the real conversations flow. Turn the page, turn the page, turn the page, turn the page. Every story got meaning. Every perspective show. Turn the page, turn the page, turn the page. Every chapter different. Every voice got purpose. Every voice got purpose. Turn the page.
Hello. Welcome back to the open book. Y'all, we gonna get into it on today. We are going to tap into attorney Ben Crump is there at the Urban League conference, and he's going to do some updates. Hold on, what just happened? It went out. Let's refresh. Child, did theirs go out? We're going to keep, well, let me bring it down till we see if they get back their reception. But they are there at the Urban League, and we're going to tap into the updates that he has. Make sure y'all tap that like button. It is for free. Okay, let's see here. All right, I'm going to pull it up from WLOX station. We're going to get into it. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. I didn't want to belabor the time because they're already starting. It was a little delay in the beginning. Let me see the screen.
Please give a great round of applause for him not being hungry to invite the families to be here at this great convention. We are so grateful to him and the others in the civil rights community for standing up like they have stood up in the past. And just like we got justice for George Floyd, just like we got justice for Breonna Taylor, just like we got justice for Ahmaud Arbery, we're going to get justice for Nolan Wells. We're going to get justice for Daniel Irvin. And we're going to get justice for Taylor Smith. And the large part is because you all are not afraid to speak truth to power. Thank you, Mr. Martin. Again, I'm Attorney Ben Crump, along with Attorney Lisa Park, Attorney Eric Hertz. We are here fighting for the family of other great lawyers for Nolan Wells. We also have present with us the family of Daniel Irvin, who many of you are just learning about outside of Dallas, Texas, and his tragedy. We have Attorney Sean DeRaya and Attorney Brooke Cluse fighting to help that family get justice, and we want to applaud his mother, Tamika, who has been fighting as only a mother would fight, with not many people in the world listening. But we're listening today, Tamika. You are not alone, Tamika. You got Nolan's mother and father, Christine, and Elmore Wansley, who are standing with you as well. Tamika, your daughter is here, you are not alone. God, please let her know she is not alone. Justice for Daniel Hood. Attorney Harry Daniels, we also have the family of Tyler Smith, Lexington, Kentucky. You're going to hear from all these families. You're going to hear from Tyler's mother and especially his grandmother. You know, until the lawyers get there, until the community advocates get there, a lot of times these families are just by themselves, President Mariel. And thank God for this mother and this praying grandmother who refused to let them sweep the death of her grandbaby under the rug. And so I will say briefly about each of these tragedies. Obviously, many of you know about Nolan Williams. And you'll hear from his mother and father after brief remarks by Attorney Hurts and Attorney Park. But we all know July 4th, Nolan Wells goes with friends, celebrating the 4th of July. All the friends come back. Nolan Wells tragically washes up on the shore 2 days later, dead. And so we know all the current events that have been happening. We are announcing that we have the audio from the officials, and we have retained and are consulting with some of the foremost audio engineering experts to review those audio tapes from the CTO call in its entirety. We also, and Attorney Hurts may go into greater detail on these matters, have an autopsy with Dr. Mitchell. Also, we are hopeful that they will discuss with Dr. Mitchell the photographs and observations made at the time when Nolan was first discovered, because Dr. Mitchell did not get an opportunity until July 10th to be able to examine his body. And at that time, we know the airways and the lungs had already been dissected and so forth. So we can't tell if there was the presence of water or not. That would suggest whether he drowned or not. And remember what Dr. Roger Mitchell said in his autopsy. President Mariel, he talked about the fact that to say he drowned does not draw the conclusions of what happened to Nolan Wells. He said it is equally important to know at what condition was Nolan Wells' body when he went into the water. Was he conscious or was he unconscious? Was he forced into the water or did he go unforced into the water? He said all of these things are very important. And so we are dotting I's and crossing T's. We are focused on getting to the truth, and we stand for the truth. Me and everybody on my legal team stand for the truth, no matter who it implicates or who it exonerates. Yes. We stand for justice, no matter who it convicts or who it acquits. And we stand for transparency, so everybody can see. And that's all we want. We want answers. We're not casting aspersions on anybody. We are saying that we want to make sure everybody who is remotely involved has their questions answered to make sure we have a full and fair and impartial and transparent investigation. And is that too much to ask for these broken-hearted parents? Is that too much to ask? That's how, if it was your child, wouldn't you want the same thing? And I get it. They're attacking me. They're attacking Reverend Al. They're attacking the parents of Nolan Wells. We don't care about those distractions. We ain't no ways tired. We are completely focused, completely laser focused on getting to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us, God. And so the threats, the attacks mean nothing to us. We will not be deterred. Look into our eyes. We're going to get to the truth. I am so grateful to Mr. Byron Allen for donating $100,000 to the GoFundMe so we can help get the best experts in the world. I am thankful to Reverend Al Sharpton. I am thankful to Mr. Tyler Perry. I'm thankful to Mr. Tara Owens. I am very thankful to everybody who did not think it robbery to say, what can we do to help people get to the truth and call in to the tip line so we can help not only Nolan Wells' family, but we can help Daniel Irvin's family, and we can help Tyler Smith's family as well. Everybody on social media, please continue to ask questions. Please continue to share photographs, share videos. It all helps us solve this potential of what happened to Nolan Wells. I mean, it's just so important. Somebody saw something. Somebody knows something. As Christine and Elmore have said, if you're really Nolan's friend, you know in your heart of hearts that if the roles were reversed, that Nolan would say something. He would call and tell what he saw. And so that's all they're asking. Do for Nolan what he would have done for you. Do for Nolan what he would have done for you. Do for Nolan what he would have done for you. Congresswoman Beatty, we thank you in the Congressional Black Caucus. Please stand and join us, Congresswoman, because you all asking the questions from the Department of Justice and the FBI. It's important that we have the full weight and force of everybody who has any kind of authority to be able to help us get answers on Nolan Wells and the other 18-year-old black boys. Now, before I bring up the lawyers, I just want to say a word about Daniel Irvin and about his case, and you'll hear from Attorney Sean DeRea, and after you hear from his mother, Tamika. So similar, and what they're saying about Nolan Wells, and that is her 18-year-old son, President Maria, Congresswoman Beatty, two young white teenagers come pick them up from their house. Lee, they go on, I guess it's an alleged fishing trip. Her son, I guess they are saying, accidentally drowns. But his two friends then throw away his clothes, right, Sean? Throw away his cell phone, go and delete all the text messages between Daniel Irvin and them, and then say nothing. If it's an accidental drowning, why wouldn't you come to his mother and tell her he drowned by accident? Why wouldn't you go to the authorities? Why wouldn't you go to somebody and say there was a terrible tragedy, he accidentally drowned? But no, they go throw away all of the evidence that is germane to finding out what happened. And it's only after his mother raised all kind of hell, and for 4 days they are searching for what happened. Minister Dominique Alexander and the activists in Dallas, they're saying, no, something happened to Daniel Irvin. We got to get to the bottom of this. Then and only then, Mark Mariel, does the young people come forward to the authorities with their parents, and they say, well, we were there, and they confessed that they threw away his cell phone and his clothes, and they deleted the messages. And so law enforcement charge and arrest them after 3 months. 3 months passed, not until Nolan Wells started making the news did they finally come
and they arrest them, but not for the death of Daniel Irvin. They arrest them with tampering with evidence, and that's it. And what his mother is saying, what Attorney DeRea is saying, what Attorney Brooke Cluse is saying is simply this. If they would lie about his cell phone and throw it away, if they would lie about his clothes and throw it away, if they would lie about deleting text messages between Daniel and them, how can you believe it when they say it was an accidental drowning? They need to take this case to a grand jury. And you're going to hear from his mother talk about other things that don't add up, about the conduct of the boys immediately after the drowning, the alleged drowning. It's so critical, important that we remember Daniel Irvin as well. And then Attorney Park, Attorney Cluse, we talk about Tyler Smith, and I'll just try to paint the picture real quickly for you, and then you'll hear from these parents, these brokenhearted parents. 4th of July. You can't make this stuff up, Congresswoman Beatty. Attorney Daniels, 4th of July, same 4th of July 2026 when Nolan goes missing. Tyler Smith in Lexington, Kentucky is the only black person in the home where they're having a 4th of July small house party. Somehow, Tyler ends up being shot in his head, dead. 911 is called. They come, the police get there. They tell them that he shot himself, that they were playing Russian roulette. That's what they say. They say, this the gun. The police retrieve the gun, and then they take their word as the gospel that he shot himself. They don't do gunshot residue on the hands of Tyler or nobody else. I mean, basic investigation 101. If you say he shot himself, when you bag his hands and when you test it for gunshot residue, but they don't do that. And you're going to hear from his grandmother and his mother as to the explanation, the implausible explanation that they offered them. And the fact that the gun, President Mariel, that they claimed he used to shoot himself with, the police, after they do analysis, it does not match the casings that they found on the floor to where he shot himself at. So still, they are taking their word for it. And it's 7 days later, right, Miss Niecy? 7 days later, after they then say, who all was in the house? They have to identify everybody who was in the home. And then they have to track down, well, if this is not the gun that caused the death of Tyler Smith, well, where's the gun at? So they have to go investigate, and they go surround one of the young men's houses, Lee Merritt, and they surround the house. He doesn't come and volunteer after knowing that they're trying to find out and get evidence about what happened to Tyler Smith and come forward voluntarily. They have to go to his house and surround it, and then he comes out and finally he volunteers that this is the gun. Think about that, Kathleen Trigg. Just think about that for a second. You would think, after all of that, he is surely going to be arrested and charged with killing or being in some way responsible for the death of this 18-year-old young black man. But no, he is only charged with tampering with evidence, correct, Ms. Niecy? Nothing more. And nobody in all three of the questionable deaths of these 18-year-old young black kids, nobody has been held accountable in any way. And so that's why we're here saying that we are not deterred. We're not going to let you sweep it under the rug. We're going to get to the answers of what happened to Nolan Wells, what happened to Daniel Irvins, and what happened to Tyler Smith, 3 18-year-old black boys in a 3-month period around 4th of July, 2026, who all were unalived in very similar ways as Nolan Wells. And I'm very thankful to his parents for using the attention that they were given and blessed with to also give attention to these other 18-year-old black boys. Thank you, Christine. Thank you so much, Elmore. At this time, before we get to your questions, you're going to hear briefly from Attorney Eric Hertz and then Attorney Lisa Park with some updates, and then you'll hear from Nolan Wells' parents. Attorney Eric Hertz, a great civil rights lawyer.
Thank you for showing up. I have some brief updates on the Nolan Wells case. We have been working with the district attorney. We've gotten a letter back yesterday, and she's willing to listen to some of the evidence we have, although we're having to still discuss her giving us back evidence, and that's something that we will see. The phones, not just our clients' phones, but the other phones that are involved in this situation, we are trying to coordinate and have come to a tentative agreement with the district attorney to go ahead and have them investigated together jointly with our experts as well as their experts. And I believe, if I'm not speaking out of turn, the FBI is going to also be present there. And that's going to show a lot of stuff that we haven't seen. I'm going to keep this short, but as I always say, and would like to say one more time, society is judged by how the most powerful treat the most vulnerable, and justice will prevail.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Attorney Eric Hertz. And now you will hear briefly from Attorney Lisa Park, who heads up our Atlanta, Georgia office and has been leading on this effort for Nolan Wells.
So today, I just want to recognize all of these families for coming here today, traveling here to Nashville, even family that's here in the audience. If you think for just a moment, for these tragedies, they really just happened. They really just happened. And if you've ever had a loved one that you've lost, it's hard. And you feel like going into a quiet place by yourself, mourning, grieving, doing all of our own religious rituals, right? And so it's quite hard that these families have had to come into the spotlight to stand up for their children. This is not where they want to be. No. And for those people who somehow think that they want to be in the spotlight, I guarantee you, this is not where they want to be.
Amen.
For all of these families, for every single family member that is suffering through these losses. So I want to commend all of these families. I also want to commend them for coming together as a group, right? Because all of us, we are stronger together.
Yes.
We are stronger together. Yes. And there are so many unanswered questions for all three of these cases, but there's hope. Mm-hmm. And I see that hope because we do get calls. Yes. We have been getting over 100 calls a day. Wow. And I want to thank everybody who's called in, because for every time there's a hater that's saying that these people just want the spotlight, when somebody calls in with some encouragement, when somebody calls in with some information, it makes up for that.
Amen. Because
we know that we're stronger together. These questions, these cases can be solved, and we can do it together. So I want to thank everybody for calling, right? But I also, last thing, I want to encourage those who have not called yet, and you know that you have some information. One, I know that it's scary. I know that you may be scared. But if there's a time in your life to do the right thing, this is it.
Yeah.
And you just have to be brave.
Yeah.
And go ahead and please call us. These people, we need you. We need you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Attorney Park. And as Nolan's mother and father get ready to come, I cannot express to you how encouraged we are that we're going to get to the truth. I mean, so many things are coming to light, and we're going to get to the truth. We are not trying to cast aspersions on anybody. We want the truth. We want the truth. That's what we want. And like we said, if that implicates you or exonerates you, then you got to talk to your Lord. You got to talk to your God. But we want the truth and nothing but the truth. And if it was your child, you would want the same thing. And so that's why everybody who got children, you could understand the pain, the agony that this mother and father have been dealing with since 4th of July. How people came, within hours of finding him saying, well, no foul play, just go on. How do you tell somebody just go on when my son is dead and nobody's giving us any answers? All those people out on that island, and you mean nobody know nothing? Nobody saw anything? No, we refuse to accept that nobody knows nothing. We're going to get to the truth. We're going to get to the truth. We're going to get to the truth. And it's starting to come to light because truth is light. And we're going to get to the truth. Y'all give it up for the mother and father of Nolan Wells, Elmore, and Christine. We're going to get to the truth.
Thank you all for being here today. It has been 27 days since we have been able to talk to our son, to hug him, to tell him we love him. This has been the most difficult time we have ever had. I want to tell you who Nolan was. Nolan was a God-fearing, God-loving child. He loved everyone. He was the person who would just make you feel comfortable just being in his space. He was never one to exclude. He always wanted everyone to be happy, to feel good, to have purpose. He would lift anyone up. It didn't even matter if he didn't know you. If you took that moment to just tell him a little bit about yourself, what you wanted to do with your life, right then and there, Nolan would be your biggest cheerleader. Today, we are begging because I'm not too proud to beg. We are begging if anyone knows anything, his friends, strangers, please call the hotline because we will not be able to rest until we get answers. But please understand that all of these distractions, these other questions that people, the attacks that people have sent our way, just know we will not be distracted. We are ready to do whatever we need to do as his parents to continue advocating for him because Nolan is not here. He is not here to speak for himself. He is not here to tell us what happened. So again, we will not rest until we get answers. And if you know something, you need to let us know. Please do not be afraid. Okay? Thank you all so much again. We truly appreciate your love and support.
I'm faced with a new challenge every morning, waking up, trying to process this. It's the biggest challenge I've ever had. I pretty much was raised up like a lot of you. I didn't have a lot, but I always said I wanted to give my children more than what I had. And I think me and my wife did that. We raised Nolan to love everyone, be kind to everyone, because it was just the right thing to do. As I'm sorry, I got a lot of stuff going, but what I really want to say is, like my wife said, if you know something and you are really, if Nolan was really your best friend, or for the people who said that he was their friend, please come forward and tell us what you know. All we want to know is the truth. We're not blaming anyone. We just want to know the truth. Any parent want that. And also, the disrespect that's been coming toward my wife and my family. For any parent, no matter what race you are, they need time to grieve. A parent can't grieve when you have people attacking them, attacking their jobs, attacking their character, just attacking them, period. Like, where's the empathy at? We as Americans, this is a diverse country.
Yep.
Not no one race made this country. We all made this race, made this country. So we all need to come together. And like I said, if you know something, please come forward and just call our attorneys, give them information, and they'll take it from there. Just help us out, and not just us, but all these families. All these families need answers. Anyone with information on any one of these cases, please come forward, because losing a child is something that you got to live with for the rest of your life. Thank you.
Thank you. And President Marielle, I would just say the attacks, Christine has been a nurse for years, and she hasn't ever gotten negative reviews. But since she has been advocating to find out what happened to her 18-year-old son after he was washed up dead on Horn Island, sick people have been going on her company's website giving her negative reviews. Can you all imagine anything worse than that? That is a shame before God. They are just sick, evil people who would attack this mother and this father for simply saying, we want to know what happened to our child. Don't worry, Christine. We standing with you. We are standing with you. Yep, and next we're going to have the mother of Daniel Irvin come and talk about her child and tell you what happened in her words, and then you'll hear brief remarks from attorney Sean DeRea. Oh, well, Sean, you want to briefly go? Attorney DeRea will briefly speak before her, and then we'll have Tamika go.
Thank you, Mr. Crump. Tampering charges in this case is absolutely unacceptable. Tampering in itself means that someone intentionally hid, destroyed, or altered evidence. If the district attorney's office has that evidence, take that evidence, put it together, and present it to a new grand jury.
Amen. Amen.
And if the district attorney's office doesn't want to do it, we are calling on an independent investigation by the Department of Justice, because we are here for the truth. And one last point I want to add to what Mr. Crump said. Daniel Irving, when these boys said that he drowned, he was a high school swimmer. He was on the swim team. He was a healthy, young 18-year-old male. So that story that he drowned accidentally, it doesn't add up. It does not add up, and we want the truth.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Attorney Durrell. Attorney Brooke Cluse. We'll say a few words and then we'll hear from Tamika Irving.
Police and law enforcement are supposed to be protecting and serving. But my question today is, who are they protecting and which communities are they serving?
Wow. All right, bro.
What we want to know is why crimes against Black and brown people receive less justice and less coverage. And I'm gonna give you some data to back it up, and I'm gonna read it because I don't wanna make any mistakes here. Over a 10-year period, statistics show that 53% of Black killings go uncharged, no charges related. And so that means over half of those related killings are never prosecuted. And when you think about arrest rates, 63% of white victims receive justice versus are compared to 47% of Black victims. So when people think we have two systems of justice in this country, the data kind of backs that up.
Amen.
And now we'll hear from Tamika. Daniel.
Okay. My name is Tamika Irving. I am the mother of Daniel Irving. This is my daughter, Azaria Irving. This is Daniel's eldest sister. So what a lot of you guys don't know, to give you like some context, my son told me that he was going to go outside and hang with some friends. Okay. And I was under the understanding that he would be in the neighborhood. So I didn't know where my son was. I thought that he was just visiting friends in the neighborhood. Around 8 o'clock or so, I started to text Mike, call Mike. And Mike he was an honorable child. He wanted to serve and protect, be in the military. He loved people. He always had a joke to tell. He was very comical. So I called the police the following day at 12:30 in the morning, and I said, hey, my son ID is here, and his money is here, and his Social Security is here, and I don't know where he's at, and this is not like him. So I'm reporting him missing under suspicious circumstances. Mm-hmm. The officers were very dismissive. The officers were very dismissive. So I didn't get any information about where my son was. I canvassed the neighborhood. I knocked on doors. I asked neighbors for video footage. I had to do the footwork, the research, the investigating. I had to do it. And so to the mothers, to anyone out there who have a loved one, do not wait for the police to do their job.
Yeah. Fight for our children.
Okay, so fast forward, I reported my son missing. My son was to graduate in May. He was unable to graduate because the two boys murdered my son. They said my son jumped off a bridge, and I know that's not the truth. He was found in water. And not only that, my son was on the swim team. He was very comfortable with swimming in the pool, swimming in lakes. The autopsy report shows my son had an unobstructed airway. So my son did not drown.
My Lord. My Lord.
I want to know why the people that are in place to serve and protect failed to do their job from the very start. When I reported my son missing, it took them 35 hours, over 35 hours to input his information only in the state system, showing that he was missing. They failed to enter his information in the NCIC, the National Criminal Database. Being my son was under 21, law enforcement had a responsibility to enter his information within 2 hours, and they failed to do that.
Fight, Tamika. Fight.
My son will fight for me, and I'm here to fight for him. I want justice. We are in the pursuit of justice.
Yes, ma'am. Justice for Daniel Irvin.
Yes.
Justice for Daniel Irvin. Justice for Daniel Irvin. And the final family you will hear from is going to be the family of Tyler Smith, who many of you haven't heard of at all. And I want to have his family, who drove from Lexington, Kentucky to the National Urban League Convention, to say that Tyler Smith life matters too. Y'all, please give him a round of applause. Tyler Smith life matters. Tyler Smith life matters. Tyler Smith life matters.
I want to thank everyone for showing up today, supporting all these families. I was asked many times, who is Tyler? What does Tyler mean to you? And I had to take a deep dive into that, because to give a few words wouldn't be justice. So I went into my prayer closet, as most nanas do, because see, Tyler calls me Nana. And when people ask me to tell them, I find a struggle in finding words big enough to describe who he is. Tyler is charismatic. He's warmth. Tyler is love. Tyler is compassion and tolerance. Tyler is focus and determination. Tyler is an entrepreneur with dreams, goals, and a vision for his future. Tyler is a calming presence, a peacemaker, and a source of comfort to those around him. Tyler is that warm piece of cake straight out of the oven, that soft buttermilk biscuit that the butter glides across the top. Tyler is the depth of a baby's laughter and the warmth of a grandmother's hug. Tyler is what many people spend a lifetime searching for, but never fully find: a genuine soul with a kind heart and a beautiful spirit. For me, Tyler is much more than all of those things. He's my motivation, my determination, the wind beneath my wings. Even in his absence, he continues to give me strength. He has become a part of the reason I stand, the part of the reason that I keep moving forward. When I received that call at 6 a.m. that morning that my grandson had been involved in a shooting, I thought, okay, hand, foot. And I arrived upon the scene of the hospital and found out that this was a gunshot wound to the head. Again, I'm a praying mother. I have a son who a year ago had a near fatal car accident. I know what God can do.
Yeah.
You can't tell me what God can do. I've seen it. I watch it every day. I watched him learn how to walk and talk. And I comforted his grandfather and said, don't worry about this. We've already been through this fire. It'll be okay. When the physician came out and pronounced my grandson, and she stated self-inflicted, accidental, I told her, you're a lie, and there is no truth in it. I explained to her immediately. I said, how do you have this evidence for you to know this? She said, because they said. I said, they said? She said, yes. As days progressed, my family and I began to move forward. We got none effort, energy at all from the Lexington Fayette County Police Department. We were told that we needed to accept accidental, self-inflicted. They offered no traces of gun residue, even though I called the coroner's office and the police department. And I begged and pleaded, please bag his hands. No child, and I say child because it's relative, no one was searched on the scene. They took an investigation as a total from all 5 of these young people and said, they said this is what happened. I asked for gun residue on anyone. The answer that I was given, well, there's no need to bag his hands. Everyone in this room would have gun residue on them.
Unbelievable.
That was their excuse to me. When they moved my grandson in an expedient manner, not to our local coroner's office, but to the state capitol, which I was told wouldn't happen until that following Monday. Miraculously, in 2 hours, he was on his way to the medical examiner in the Capitol. On Monday morning at 10 a.m., they came back and told me again, accidental, self-inflicted. For 17 days, my sons and I worked tirelessly, investigating everything on our own. The police department gave us nothing, absolutely nothing. They treated me as if I were a pirate, asking all the wrong questions. Why do you need to know? We've handed you that carrot already. Take a bite, settle down. It's accidental, self-inflicted. As I talked to the police chief, I explained to him, he said, well, what do you want from this? What are you looking for? I said, what would you be looking for?
Exactly. Exactly.
I want transparency. I want you to simply do the job that you were paid to do.
Amen.
My family never asked you to go above and beyond. We just ask you to earn the paycheck that you either receive this week or the next. We ask you to simply, the same way you go into our Black and brown neighborhoods and you can investigate and you can interrogate and you can charge, give us the same respect.
Amen. Amen.
Tyler is loved. He's loved. But most importantly, Tyler calls her mama. Tyler calls me, yeah, that's my baby, y'all. He's my baby. It will be my dying breath to say his name. No stone will go unturned. I'm not afraid to go to hell and sit with the devil about mine.
Wow.
I want it known. I want transparency. I want someone to speak on it. Continue to say our names. Continue to say our children's names.
Yes.
We deserve answers. We deserve justice.
Yes,
we deserve transparency.
Yes.
That's all we're asking for.
Thank you.
And I thank you all so much for the time and the space that you have given every one of us.
Justice for Tyler Smith.
You know.
Justice for Tyler Smith. Justice for Tyler Smith. And we're going to get to the truth on Tyler. I promise you, we're going to get to the truth of what happened to Tyler Smith. At this time, President Mario, we're going to ask that the Congresswoman just say a brief word and then take questions. Vince Evans, CBC, thank you all very much.
Let me simply say the 2 most powerful words we can say. To you as families, to the Urban League family, to you, President and CEO, and my good friend, to you, Attorney Ben Crump. Thank you. But let me just say, the Congressional Black Caucus, we aren't just coming today. We communicated with Attorney Crump, with President Mark Morial, and we stand with you. And I'll end with your words, Mark. We're going to let justice roll down
yes, ma'am.
like a stream, and righteousness like mighty waters. We are the Congressional Black Caucus. We stand for you, for justice, transparency, and righteousness. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Congresswoman.
This has been moving and powerful. We want to take questions from members of the media. Members of the media, if anyone in the working media has a question for Attorney Crump, and please identify yourself, speak real loudly. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. And that's an excellent question, because thank God for us being able to get the national attention on Nolan Wells case. And that doesn't happen just by coincidence. It's a lot of the civil rights community, a lot of the activists, Reverend Al, people like Byron Allen, Tyler Perry, everybody on social media coming to say, no, this ain't adding up. We got to find out what happened to Nolan Wells. And then we get contacted by our good friend, Attorney Sean DeRea, saying that, hey, we got a similar case, Attorney Crump, where you co-counsel with us, and Attorney Brooke Clue start working with them. And then we get a call to the call center, President Mariel, and I simply can't believe what happened to Tyler Smith. It shocks my conscience. And so Kareem Ali and Cliff Jones, my investigators, they start to investigate, and we're saying this can't be true. They really didn't do a gunshot residue test on the hands. That's basic. And so it hits me that all of them are 18-year-old black kids that died in very questionable circumstances, when Nolan was the only black kid on the boat. Daniel was the only black kid allegedly on the fishing trip. And Tyler was the only black kid at the 4th of July celebration party, house party. And all of them are 18 years old. Look at the dates. That's eerie when you look at the dates. February 8th, Tyler Smith is born. July 4th, 2026, he is dead. Can I see the other photograph? This is Daniel Irvin. He's born November 21st, 2007. He is dead on April 17th, 2026. Where's the other one? Nolan Wells, born August 19th, 2007. He is dead in July of 2026. The day is yet to be determined. All of these young black kids were born in 2007, and all 3 of these black kids died 2026, 18 years of age, on the cusp of manhood. And I said, no, we got to show that this is not a coincidence that all these young 18-year-old black men are ending up dead and nobody is being held accountable. No, we got to ring the alarm. We got to ring the alarm. We must ring the alarm for these 18-year-old black boys.
Let me also add this. Our members who were planning to come to Nashville asked me late last week if we would be commenting on, dealing with, shedding any light on the Nolan Wells case. I invited Ben Crump to come to Nashville to brief us on the Wells case. In the course of that conversation, he shared with me, by the way, there are 2 other similar cases. I said, 2 other similar cases? I said, Ben, can you bring all of the families to Nashville? Because the thousands of urban leaders who are here are interested in, have a solidarity with want to hear directly, not through filters, about the circumstances of these cases. And that is what the National Urban League Conference is all about. It is about dealing with the pressing, cutting edge issues that face the nation and face Black America.
Amen.
So we are here because this is what we do.
Yes.
Whether it was Trayvon Martin back in the early teens, Michael Brown, George Floyd, Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor, Tamir Rice. We deal with these issues because our constituency wants to hear directly. And I want to say this. We trust Ben Crump.
Yes.
And we know that he does not engage in chasing false cases.
Amen.
That he also, when he takes a case, that he's going to elevate the word and the personality and the pain of the families.
Yes, sir.
All too often,
Yes, sir.
when Black families are victims of violence and victims of unfair justice system, they suffer in silence.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can't find lawyers
Yeah.
with the courage and the ability. They suffer in silence. So I know when Ben Crump has a matter, he is always welcome at the National Urban League Conference to come and bring us up to date. And that's why we're here in Nashville. Other press questions? Any others? Yes, ma'am. Identify yourself, please. New York Post.
Come here. Christine. Yep, we know about the question. We were ready for it. This attack and this threat to sue us and the family for defamation, it's a distraction. We're not distracted by it at all. It's about getting to the truth. That's what we want. And that's what we're focused on. We haven't done anything other than ask questions to get to the truth. Okay. Another question? Can't hear you. Okay.
Let me respond to that. That accusation doesn't deserve a response. It has no dignity associated with someone standing up for children who have died. We don't waste our time arguing with donkeys. We don't waste our time arguing with people who want to distract from the real issue. We have 3 dead Black young men under suspicious circumstances. And I don't think the New York Post ought to give elevation to distractions like that. This is such an old story. We fight for justice and someone suggests all we want is publicity. You know what happens when we stand here? Our inboxes are filled with hate messages, hate mail, hate this, hate that. No one. Our dignity in standing up. And you're a reporter, you work for the paper, your editors told you to ask this question. I want you to know we will not be distracted. And I'm not going to, Ben Crump is like any lawyer. He should get paid for his work. Just like every Wall Street lawyer, every Trump lawyer, every insurance defense lawyer. And I really want everyone to understand, let's not be distracted.
Amen. Right. Won't be distracted.
Let's not give oxygen. Let's not give air and dissuaders. So thank you for your question.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. What's your question? We celebrate all.
So let me say this. I'm going to say this. I will not ever surrender the fact that I am an American. However, we celebrate Juneteenth. I don't necessarily celebrate July 4th, but I note it as an important day. And I'm not going to fall into the trap that some want to. I fly the American flag in front of my house. But on the other side of my porch, I fly the Juneteenth flag. And we are not going to let anyone diminish our birthright, our constitutional right, our birthright to be treated fairly and justly in this country. It is very difficult and challenging in these times, but we are not going to be tricked. We're not going to be dissuaded. We're not going to be distracted. I am an American. I am an African American. I am a Black American. And I'm proud to be one. But I think we need to clearly understand that African Americans, Black people, and civil rights leaders have always been the conscience of this country.
Amen. Amen.
Have always been loyal to the nation, even in the most challenging times.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to suggest it's easy for us. But what we're not going to allow is for people to marginalize us, treat us like second-class citizens, or suggest that somehow, let me tell you what a true patriot is. A true patriot stands up for justice.
Yeah.
A true patriot stands up for the families and the victims of violence. A true patriot holds the justice system accountable, doesn't make excuses for an unjust justice system. So we got to understand that we're not going to get tricked and cornered into people suggesting because we stand up for justice, we're something other than a true and full patriot in this country.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel. I said last night, I was born in a segregated hospital, born in a segregated city, watched my parents and their friends fight and litigate and march to open doors of opportunity.
Amen.
The reason why these times are so tough and why they're so difficult is because if we are not careful and if we are not vigilant and diligent, our children and grandchildren will be relitigating the battles of our parents.
Yeah.
This movement in this country to turn back the hands of time is palpable. So when we stand up for these families, and we'll stand up for other families, and we'll stand up for other people, we're doing it because we are true patriots. We're doing it because we believe in justice. We do it because we're going to hold the justice system accountable. This Urban League movement has a mission.
Yes, sir.
And its mission is something we will not surrender. Like the Congressional Black Caucus says, we have no permanent friends. We have no permanent enemies. We only have permanent interests.
Amen.
So thank you for your question.
And let me say this before I move on to the final two questions. You know, we as African Americans, as W.B. Du Bois said, we have this duality. I mean, on one hand, we know that when the founders wrote the Constitution, they never expected that the rights would apply to us. But like my personal hero, Thurgood Marshall said, I know they didn't intend it to apply to us, but we're going to make it apply to us anyway because we are American citizens. And if anybody built this country, it was our ancestors with the tolling in the cotton fields. I mean, doing the things that made this very young country become such a prosperous country at such an early age in its infancy. I mean, when you think about what slavery did to elevate America, that were our ancestors. So yes, I'm going to celebrate the 4th of July essence every year because my ancestors built this joint. And then I'm really going to celebrate on the Juneteenth because I know that is what we do to acknowledge our ancestry. Just like Jewish Americans celebrate the 4th of July and their important dates, just like Italian Americans celebrate the 4th of July and their important dates, just like Spanish Americans celebrate the 4th of July and important dates to them. Black people, we celebrate the 4th of July because we built America.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have one more.
CNN and Our Woman TV, and then that's going to be
it. Go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
I have Sean speak briefly to Daniel Irvin, but that's why I was brought in to bring attention to Daniel Irvin case. Sean and his team and their mother been fighting and not making progress, but we're going to get the answers. Sean?
We have not had any progress with the Dallas County District Attorney's Office. We are planning, Mr. Crump and I, to meet with the district attorney if he will meet us, and we want to talk about this case. We want to talk about this evidence, and we want to move this forward, and we want murder charges. Is that right, Mr. Crump?
Absolutely. You know, one of the things that Sean and Tamika said, Ryan Young, she said that there was a witness after the drowning that said, Tamika, the young man was limping when he came back. And that was part of the investigation. And she's saying, well, why didn't y'all explore that? Like, why are you limping? You're saying my son jumped off the bridge. Why that's going to cause you to limp?
Yes, that is true. And there was a witness that provided video footage via flash drive to the detectives, and they failed to enter that information in the probable cause affidavit.
No.
It's all right.
The witness also said that the detectives just grossly overlooked that, and they failed to enter that information. Again, I know Daniel did not drown, and tampering with evidence is offensive for the murder they committed.
Thank you.
Do we have any more questions?
I would just respond to this here on Ryan's case. And his mother believes her child was murdered. We are still trying to get all the information, Attorney DeRay and I, but she does not believe her son unforced went into a lake, a high school swimmer, and drowned. She just isn't accepting that, and she has a right as a parent to question that. As it relates to Tyler Smith, we're going to have more information coming forward because of the hard work of his mother and grandmother, and we think the shoe is about to drop on that. And we're going to meet with the district attorney. We haven't yet, but we're going to meet with them because people are starting to come forward. And I again thank the parents of Nolan Wells because people are coming forward in their case. That's inspiring people to come forward in Tyler Smith's case as well. So thank you all for coming forward. She had the last one.
Let's go here and then Kathleen.
Okay.
My message would be that we have to have tough conversations. This is something our community already knows. We have to make sure that, and I know my husband and I, we have had countless conversations with all of our children about the importance of understanding when you are moving in different spaces with people that do not look like you. And it's unfortunate that we have to have these conversations, but they are needed in order to hopefully keep our children safe. So I would say to all the mothers out there, especially my Black mothers, we just have to keep pushing forward. We have to do the things to protect our children.
Kathleen, last question. You want to go first?
I mean, this is so tragic that this is why Ben Crump is so important. This is why when families face these types of challenges, they need good counsel. They should not wallow and try to handle it themselves. They shouldn't just go to community leaders and politicians, although that's important. They need good counsel. They need good civil rights counsel. They need people like Ben Crump or Lee Merritt, and there are many, many others around the nation who do this kind of important work. And I just encourage families that face cases of injustice, cases where they want answers, to work to get good counsel. We at the Urban League, our affiliates, we get calls all the time. And what we try to do is guide them in the right direction. We try to help them identify counsel or people. And that is really, really important, the case. I want to confront the question you asked about race. Something in this country, whenever a Black person is the victim of an act of injustice, why is it when we seek justice, we get this smear campaign of playing the race card? I have seen this movie for many, many, many years, and we are going to call it out because we are not going to be dissuaded, distracted, or intimidated for standing up for members of our community. Let the charges come. I say it's like they're blowing bubbles. It's just a lot of rhetoric. It's nasty and it's hateful. But you know what I found? For every loud person attacking us, there's 15 quiet people. Who represent silent supporters of justice. They may not speak out. They may not go on social media, but they're in solidarity. And we have to remember that. The loudest voices in the room are not the most important voices in the room. Let me thank you all for coming. We've got some other activities, our Women of Power Luncheon. Let's thank Ben Crump. Let's one more time thank these families for their courage, for their courage, for their courage. And I want to thank the media for coming out as well. This press conference is adjourned.
Thank you, Mark Mariel and the National Urban League.
Y'all got me tickled over here. Oh my gosh. Ooh, okay, let's get into a little conversation. Y'all, Ben Crump, his new nickname is Clapping Crump. Okay. And he was doing it by the mic. I think it made it extra loud because it was by the mic. OMG. Which one of y'all first mentioned that clap? I would never be. Merv said I would never be able to unhear it. Okay. Crump the I think that would make work better. Crump the Clapper. Okay, it's definitely the right name because what? His hand should be hurting. Okay, y'all, we need a little laughter. We really do. So I Crump the Clapper, okay? Or if y'all want to clap and crump. Now, in all seriousness, we did need that laughter. The best of me, thank you for your comment as well. Because that there is some truth in that. We have to also consider other races and culture and be grateful for them coming and joining in this fight. Some we've even seen videos of content creators. Hey, Mama Magazine, welcome, that are not Black, that are also calling out the nonsense and the inconsistencies. And so it's a joint effort and fight, not just based off of all Black people right now, but it's a mixture of people that are coming together and really trying to seek justice for Nolan, justice for Daniel, justice now for Tyler Smith. I didn't even know about his case until today. And I can definitely peep. Okay, some stuff was not right with how they did that. There's only one race, the human race. Everything else is a social construct. Okay, come on now. Yeah, we did need some laughter, child. I was gonna say his hands should itch all that clapping. Oh no. Are you better? Well, we are praying for you to have a speedy recovery, sis. Take care of yourself. Wow. Get well soon. I watched the entire conference on Don Lemon. It was very emotional. I'm thankful for the many voices that were in the chat to speak on the corruption and justice for the young men. Right, Roger, welcome. Yes, yes. Ian said, well, now we got to get back on the case. I like the Steve Harvey guy. They said his name is Mark Morial. Mark Morial. I had never heard of him, but I like him. Okay, I like him. We got to get ready to go ask Bart some questions. Okay. It's hard when you are sick. Yeah, that's true. That's true. We're praying for you, sis. We are lifting our voices to represent every family that has lost their children mysteriously, unrighteously, and have been disregarded. Yes. Okay. Oh, sis, girl. Yes, definitely. You might need to get out from here. Okay. You might need to just relax, close your eyes, and get somewhere and go to sleep for a little bit. Take you some medication. I don't know if they gave you something, but that is sky high. Okay. So our prayers for complete and total healing go out to you. Wow. Oh my gosh. You're welcome. Okay, yes, Mr. Marcus, the president of the National Urban League. Yes, I did look him up. Now let's talk about a few things I took note on with this conference. Okay, one thing, y'all, and Daniel said this on Don Lemon the other day, where because he's like the Washington correspondence. Yeah, it's enough stress, y'all. You might, girl. And he said that he was going around there at Capitol Hill the other day. He was bringing up the Nolan Wells case. And he said, oddly enough, there were a lot of people that were not aware of that case and what was taking place in Mississippi. I said, really? Are y'all pretending? Because I know Jasmine Crockett has done videos on this. You know, they've stopped to interview her about the Nolan Wells case, and she's very well aware. So I just found that odd that a lot of people were not aware of what is going on with this Nolan Wells case and the things that are happening right there in Mississippi. Now, it is good that we have the National Urban League to, offer their platform for them to discuss these cases, because it does bring awareness. Okay. He's from New Orleans. Okay. Oh, he was the mayor there. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Because it does bring awareness. And it's so, I know it's a crazy ironic, but did it take Nolan's life and the way all of this is going down for there to be now more attention on some of these other cases, even Daniel's, which had actually taken place um, 2 months prior to Nolan's. His family was in the process of getting justice, right? Because they already had been, through some of it with the police and so forth. And so then when Nolan's case happened, guess what? People started bringing up the Daniel case that had just taken place a couple of minutes, not minutes, months. I'm trying to say months earlier. Okay, so now it's a joint effort to get justice in both of those cases. Then you have another 18-year-old, all of these boys, 18, okay, who lost his life. They're saying it's a self-inflicted gun wound, but they didn't test for any residue or anything. Okay, people there. And then the ironic part, a lot of these young men were around white boys. In Nolan's case, that's why they keep emphasizing there are other black people there on the island and so forth. But the party, his mom said, for Tyler, he was like the only black boy. Daniel was the only black boy with those other two boys. So it's a lot of racial tension in these cases surrounding it, I should say. Also, I definitely needed a laugh. It's very sad over here. 3 kids went missing. They found one body. The 11-year-old girl was rescued, and still a 10-year-old is still missing in the river. Oh, wow, Buttercup. Prayers for that family. Look, stuff's still happening. Prayers. Wow. I'm so sorry to hear that. Thank you so much, Kimbo Creator. I appreciate the support. Let's see. Mark was prior. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to definitely start researching some of these other cases. Now, another difference, or I should say similarity, that I was noticing is the parents were talking about how they had to do their research, how they're doing the footwork, how they're doing this and doing that. Why is it, y'all? But hey, did we not talk about this pattern back with Tyrone Davis and Derek Samuel? It was coming. I started noticing a pattern that some of these police officers are not doing thorough investigations into these cases where the families know something is wrong and something is off, and they're doing a lot more research and trying to get information, trying to get the opportunity really to be heard and to be taken seriously. Okay, they're coming up with their own evidence, like having to find evidence, I should say, on their own, not making up stuff, but finding. Like, look at Christine. She's having to subpoena to get the Life 360, all of these social media platforms, that information to take in. Now, I guess he's like the investigator or PI there. He came up and he gave a short update. He said that right now they're trying to get with a DA and coordinate the experts that they're using as far as the phones, get with the DA to see if they can get their experts to work together to see if this information is syncing, what they're coming up with and with the other phones in question. Now, they said, hey, they're still having troubles getting any evidence from the DA. What is that about? Like, why are y'all not being cooperative with them? Okay, y'all don't have to give it to the public, but at least give it to the attorneys. Why is that such a pull to get anything? A pull to get the toxicology, a pull to get the autopsy, a pull to get some type of evidence. It is crazy. Okay, it is crazy work. Like, it should not have to be a pull for everything. And so we're noticing that most of these parents, I know Daniel's mom mentioned that. I love Tyler's grandmother, very powerful and very wisdom. She's filled with wisdom. I would sit and listen to her all day. Okay, she believes in God. You could just hear it as she speaks. Okay, these women, Christine, Daniel's mom, are very educated and they love their children. And as a mom of children and boys, y'all, this thing touches my heart on another level. Boys love their moms and moms love their boys. Now, we love our daughters and stuff too, but it's something about that mom son bond, just like it's a daughter father bond. There's a mom son bond, y'all. And I know that this is so hard and difficult to go through this and not only go through grief, but trying to get justice in the process. That makes it extra hard. Okay. And so just hearing that all of these parents and moms are doing research on their own, trying to get to the answers. They're pretty much, with Nolan's case and Daniel's cases for sure, are in similar phases of the case. Okay. They're just in different states. They're in the process of trying to get the DA to get with the grand jury. Both of those cases, they're trying to get them to speak with the DA and get the grand juries convened. If the DA never requested phone records, Ben needs to call for a special prosecutor. Exactly. What are they holding up? Okay, what are they holding up? So these two are in similar phases of the case. They are trying to work with the DA, and they want them to try to get indictments, go to the grand jury, of course, because they're going to have to, unless they're going to just bring up charges. Okay, they wouldn't have to go to a grand jury unless you just going to bring up the charges as the DA. You wouldn't have to go to a grand jury. Who's going to make up the grand jury? Who's going to be on that grand jury is going to be the next question. Okay, that's something to think about. Then Ben Crump said they are getting over 100 calls a day. See, people trying to get that 125,000, but it must, I don't know if it's not enough to get the arrest and the convictions yet. They are encouraging anyone with news or information that could lead to arrest and convictions. Hey, go and call and tell the truth. Give this family some peace. As long as they know, y'all, it's the fact of not knowing, I think, that's usually the hardest. Okay. And then as they find out the truth, yes, it's going to take some healing and you have to process that. But the not knowing part, I can only imagine is the hardest. Okay. And this, the death dates. Okay. Now you have Daniel's April 17th. You have Tyler's July 4th. Nolan's, there's a question mark. Why is there a question mark? Because the medical examiner has yet to release the autopsy with that information. The independent autopsy, that medical examiner could not determine that. It would have to come from her. There are certain things that they do to determine the date of death. Looking at the stomach contents. Okay, that's one way that they can determine it. So she would have to give that information. Do you know how sad it is? They don't have any form of closure, y'all. No form of closure. Not only do they not know what happened to him, they don't know the actual date of his death to even put it down on a picture that they were showing today. They probably don't even have his death certificate yet. They probably didn't even put that information on the obituary because they have yet to get that information to his parents. That is horrible. That is horrible. I just know that that's hard. Okay. Yes, they are frightening. And when people have the music, Southern music playing in the background, it is scary, but they're helping to bring awareness so that everyone can know what's going on. Yes. I'm glad Ben's team exposed how that stiff-faced DA is moving. Okay. I mean, it's so sad and unfortunately, right. They probably do not have it down anywhere. They probably don't have the death certificate. She's holding up that process, you know. The DA said the autopsy will be under seal and only given to the grand jury. Yes, she did say that, but I'm just wondering, y'all, why is it that at least his parents, even if they don't release that information to us, Why are y'all not releasing information to the parents? I'm not understanding that. Just like Daniel's mom is saying, she's getting the runaround. Okay, if y'all not hiding something or trying to cover up something, you would be very transparent with the parents of the child. Like, y'all just gonna keep organs and did with their child's organs. Where is his throat area? Why wasn't that sent the independent autopsy? That's the part we are having problems. Death, right? They don't have none of that. It's so sad. What did Angel said? 2007 really hit home. My boy and girl twin, 10/9/2007, 18 years old. Wow. Oh my God. So sorry. Now, are you saying that was their birth date or did they pass away? I mean, it's so unfortunate, y'all. Yeah, I think she's saying their birthday. That's the year that all of them were born, 2007. Hey, phenomenal Scorpio, welcome, sis. Okay. Then I noticed with Daniel and Nolan, both of these young men were good swimmers. Their parents talked about that before. Okay. Since they don't give a uck about the parents, they make that clear over and over again. Exactly. You have good swimmers, both 18, with boys. We don't know which, okay? We just know somebody was either with or saw Nolan before he passed away. And how there were a lot of people on the island. Well, I have my doubts about that. I don't even think it happened on the island. I don't think that whatever happened to him happened on the island. I feel that his body was brought back to the island. That's my own opinion. I do not feel it happened there. It was too many people there, and yes, they would have seen something. But I don't feel that it happened on the island. So they need to move their focus from the island, child, and go focus on when everybody's boat returned. What happened? Shailene, hey sis. Some people I think did find out, but I don't. It was very general. I think like his name, but I don't know how he plays a part in it. Kiddo, yeah, trying to make it seem like they drowned. Yeah, they're also trying to close these cases quickly. That's a good point. I need to go back and see what the mom said about his lungs. She said he didn't drown. Yeah, right. I don't think that it happened there. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. Remember, we had the Cabo Six. Now we have the Horn Island. Oh, okay. Come on now. I don't think it happened there. Let's see what else they say. But that's also like his mom was able to tell he didn't drown based off of his airways. That's another reason why I feel like that medical examiner did send his throat either. Because if it was something with the lungs, they couldn't determine with the lungs. Guess what? They would have been able to determine with his airways if he had drowned. And if it was something else done to his throat. Yeah, they need to search for bio. Clock it, phenomenal Scorpio. The attention has been on this doggone bilge pump and now the call. Okay, so our attention shifted some, right? But beside that, since they want to play crazy, oh, Nolan wasn't there. Well, then let's move on to when everybody came back. Since y'all can't say nothing about him there on the island, let's move it towards when he got back. That's where they need to shift it. Right. That's probably why they said they didn't need help on the boat. Exactly. Shifted to when they got back. Everybody got back. All the boats that were a part of this group. Yes, obstructive airway. So when was they at the friend's house? How long they stayed there? I still have questions. Right. No one has moved it really to focus there. What was going on in Fort Bio? Why are they not talking a lot about that? Being that they spent a lot of time there. See, we still focused on, oh, we had a distress call. We stuck in Bihorn Island, but y'all left. Eventually, y'all left and y'all went to Fort Bio. Where were y'all the rest of that evening? They need to track their movements. Where else did y'all go? I thought it was a party, a pool party. Okay, what happened at the pool party? So we still have questions. Yeah, where's that video footage? Shout out to A Mama Magazine. Thank you so much for the jewels and for being a sponsor. Bart a punter. Maybe he kicked Nolan in the throat, allegedly. My Lord. Like being Crump, that's something else he does. I noticed. My Lord. I know he do it at his church. I feel like he was in distress on the boat. They took him to Simpson's dad in MD to verify he was gone and to possibly get some stuff on his system if he was gone. Then they took him back to the island. Oh, my Lord. Because guess what? Now, did we not hear this on the call? Didn't someone say, call your dad? This is not all this made up. Okay, if we're going to say all of this is made up, right, on this call, then we not hearing what we hearing. Well, why would they be saying certain stuff? Who came up with the narrative? So we got someone saying, oh my God, is he dead? Get the F up, Nolan. Then you got somebody saying, check his text. Oh, he texts me. Then you got somebody saying, call your dad, get your dad. Like, who came up with the narrative? Okay, that's a huge story right there. Why would they call in his dad? Why would they want to get his dad? That's a good point. You came up with a very good theory. If y'all can tell the parents who was last with Nolan, we can move forward. Right. They should check everyone's home or the house they were. Exactly. What if that picture of the pool party was a clue to where about it, that it happened to Nolan? I don't know. The timeline has them at the friend's house for an hour and something. Yes, exactly. What was happening? It went from no pool party to, well, it was a pool party and several of them were in attendance, right? It did, the Queens did. Because at first, remember, they were saying, oh, no, it wasn't no pool party. Then when the pool party pic came out, oh, no, that was from June 27th. Then, well, that was from June 27th, but we had one on the 4th. Wait a minute. So it really was a pool party? Oh, okay. Come on. These people, oh. But my thing was he really, if he was on that boat, was he really deceased? Did it look like he had passed out and they were checking in the moment? But then possibly like, let's hurry up and get out of here so we can go and get help or, see what was going on. I don't know. I bet they never went to a pool party. That was an alibi too. Ooh. Remember Crooked Tatum said they talking about the cell phone. This is so sad. And I like that they had I don't know what the question was, but Christine was saying a great conversation to have with your kids is like when you're, you're in certain spaces, how to move in certain spaces. And that is a great conversation. I was thinking about my childhood. I didn't really have those type of conversations with my mom. And I was like, why didn't I? Well, a lot of the reason was I was in a community and grew up where it was mainly Blacks in that community. So some people, when you're in neighborhoods where it's mainly Blacks or your children go to schools with just mainly Blacks, certain conversations you may forget about until they go to more diverse schools. Like when I went to middle school and high school, they were more diverse. I had to learn how to, hang with different groups, how they talked and how they acted. Some of the issues that I may have faced growing up, they may not have had similar experiences. Now, I haven't live with in $1 million neighborhoods or anything like that, but I definitely got a feel for just being around a diverse group of people, not just my people, right? So then having those conversations, and it's just right now, y'all, it doesn't even have to necessarily be about race. It could be period. When you feel that something is off, okay, in the groups that you're in, or you sense danger, or be aware of who you hang with. Not everybody is, come on now, not everybody is your friend. Not everybody wants to see you succeed. Quit telling everybody your dreams, hopes, aspirations, what you got going on. There are people out here hating, people jealous. So it's like multiple conversations to have with our children when they get around other kids. And I was even having to have these conversations with a fourth grader last year about friends, and this friend gonna lead you off a bridge? You gonna jump? Just little things like that. You got to be aware of when people try or seeing a group that you're hanging with. Just be aware of little jokes and remarks that they make. They're not all the time joking. Okay. You got to be careful out here nowadays. It's a different world. Let's see here. Warren said they went to his girl's house to eat and watch fireworks. My question was, if they had sent Nolan to Washington, D.C. first for the autopsy and just put his body on ice and then got the autopsy done, I think that that would have been better. They would have got it. But I don't know if they would have allowed them to do that. It would have been nice. That hour that's unaccounted for is when I think Nolan was unalive. The whole boat sinking crap was an alibi. I think so too, Clarinetta. That's just my opinion. If we are to believe the audio, it happened on the boat. That's around about the time of death. We need. They giving up fake boat pics if they want to impress me. Give up their phone. Come on now. Hey, Jacqueline. I'm so sorry, but I needed Mr. Crump to stop clapping. Look, Jacqueline, we got a nickname over here. We already got him, Crump the Clapper. Okay. We were talking about it too. Because it was so loud in the mic. Yes, you have to be careful. And when you trust yourself, you will know who is your friend and who is not. Exactly the highest point. You got to use some discernment, okay? And not everybody really has the gift of discernment, but I mean, just be aware, like if somebody likes you or not. And my daughter has a good way of picking that up more so than my son. I've noticed that. My son, he just plays. Now, he does have to warm up to you. He's not going to feel comfortable just hugging on people or both of them in that aspect. But I can tell when he's comfortable around an adult or another child, he will allow himself to hug or, I can say, oh, he likes you. I can tell that. I can tell when he doesn't, and so I'm glad he has that where he can pick up on that at a young age. Now, my daughter, she'll come and just be like, oh, mama, yeah, that lady, she getting on my nerves. I say, hold up, wait, what? No, we ain't going to say it like that. Now, what makes you think that? Okay, let mommy handle all of that if I need to have a conversation, but we got to watch how we say it. Hey, Destiny, welcome. I honestly thought that's when an independent autopsy was something independent from the local. Okay. Let's see here. Obi, that mark on the back of Nolan's head, possibly from holding his head underwater. That's exactly what would happen if you held him forcefully. Yep, that's a possibility. That's a possibility. Y'all, it is a lot. This here and hearing these other cases, oh my gosh, like it's just been so much going on. And within the span of 3 months, that's what he said too. He said that these cases all took place within 3 months. 2 of them on 4th of July weekend. I mean, that's hard to believe. It's so sad. Yeah, it is. But we're going to continue to keep our eyes and ears open. Yeah. We're going to continue to keep our eyes and ears open. It is what happened to Nolan. I want to start, like, really start looking more into the getting back part. I know we got the audio, we've listened through that. I don't know if, and it's just my opinion, I don't know if I'm going to put a stamp on the for sure that Nolan died there on the boat in that moment. I'm not ready to put my stamp there yet, because I don't know. However, when we got back, what happened in those moments too? Because it looked like they were checking from the sounds of it. They weren't for sure. But afterwards, the whole picking up speed really fast and getting back and then leaving again and so forth, those are red flags. Those are red flags. What took place in Fort Bayo? What took place there? Okay, because that's a huge little part in Fort Bayo. And you know why else something is a red flag to me? Is the simple fact that nobody has yet to tell us where Nolan's phone was. Yes, before everybody say, they said it was found in Wyatt's truck. Has anyone heard? Because nobody answered me in my last live. Has anyone heard which house his phone was found at? Where was Wyatt's truck? So we need to know the house. We need to know for Bio what was going on there. We still need to know Katie. Where was she? Whose boat and lunch did she return on? We still don't know. She's saying she didn't stay behind with Nolan. Well, how did she get back? That was June 27th. I called about my electric bill. Me and the representative ended up talking about this case for about 15 minutes. Somebody coughing. Okay, I'm gonna have to listen to it again. Right, Angel. He snapped on the post. They deserved it too. Yeah, it was. Yes, phenomenal. But where? Whose house? Why was that left out? Have y'all thought about that? Like when Nolan's dad talked about the keys and where his car was, they specifically said which house. When they talk about the phone, and Tashima, talked about the phone, and oh yeah, Javon said the snap showed this location, and even Christine said, yeah, when she went over to that parent's house and she spoke with that parent. Who is that? Nobody ever said a name, but they put Jack's name out there, but nobody ever said the name. All Tashima said was some girl, when she talked to Wyatt, he said some girl was gonna go get it, and it took her a while to go get it. And so Laura said, well, where was the phone? She was like, in Wyatt's truck. But they never said whose house or whose apartment were they at. We do know that the phone was at a separate location than the house, but we never found out where, which house. The great thing is the walls are closing in. I feel that too, Clarinetta. Did Crump giving updates on the investigation? The only update was they're getting 100 calls a day, and they've been working more with the DA. It seems like she's open to hearing more of their evidence that they've come up with. And now they're trying to coordinate their experts to work with the DA's experts. And the DA is, he was saying that it's hard to get evidence from her, though. Yeah, she want to know what y'all got, just like they want to know what y'all independent autopsy was going to say. I bet she not going to give y'all no evidence. Okay, Applejack's house for keys. Bird said, Obi, I told you the other day it was Ron's house. Come on now. At this point, because nobody has ever said whose house it was. Why is that such a secret? I'm trying to understand. But Wyatt's truck was over there. I hope so, Bird. Right, the Queen's Den. I don't trust it either. Mm-hmm. It was said Simpson about to tell all if he wasn't involved. Okay. he probably is. That's probably why that $50,000 reward was put out there. All Warren said, they gave Tashima the phone. I'm going to need to go back and listen to Warren interview. Might be some missing clues about. I'm going to do that when I get off from here. I'm about to go back. See, that's what I'm wondering, Nika. Me and you thinking alike. Is her name purposely being left out because of who she is? You see what I'm saying? Because why give Jax's name, but nobody gave the name of the house where the phone was and where kids were sitting in the dark watching movies, allegedly. Shout out to Tammy. Thank you so much, Tammy. I appreciate that. And thank you for being a sponsor. It seems Buddy is used rather than some names. Yep. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate it, sis. Yeah. Y'all, that's something to think about. I'm going to go back. Let me go. That's what I'm about to do. I'm going to go back and listen to that part of his interview and see what he says again. Because why is that a secret? We got everybody else's house. Okay. But we don't know the house where the phone, because that's huge. Like if the phone, okay, for one, okay, if Nolan left his phone on that boat, they're acting like they never touched the phone. Okay, they took the phone and put it in Wyatt's truck. Was there a point when Nolan was in that truck? Because how did his phone, unless y'all touched the phone from the boat to the truck, how did it get in the truck? And then where did he keep while he was in the water? Okay, at the island. Y'all's excuse for his phone being on the boat was because people don't use their phones in the water. Okay, so let's go there. All right, so you said that people don't use their phones in the water. His phone was on the boat because of that. All right, now people don't do a lot of stuff in the water. Okay, I'm pretty sure he didn't take his food in the water either. I'm pretty sure he didn't probably be in the water drinking and having chips and all that. So whatever he brought with him, because at Horns Island, it's no restaurants out there. So you pretty much got to take your food for the day. You got to take what you're going to drink for the day. You got to take change of clothes. So where did he sit his things? Whose boat? Was it the boat that he came down on? Okay, I'm trying to figure that out too, Tammy. I don't know what the Uncle alert is. I just be thanking y'all for the jewels, child. But I do see it. Okay, so where did he sit his things? Because his parents should have received other things besides just his phone and the keys. Because where's his cooler? Because if he was going to stay behind, right? There's no restaurants or anything there. There should have been his things like his cooler or what he put his lunch in. Where's all of that? Did that come back too? Okay, we're still missing some stuff. Where are his glasses that he had on in the picture, his necklace? Like we were talking about this earlier. Like it's a lot of things still missing. Did they ever get that stuff back? Okay. Warren said Tashima kicked the door in. He sure did. He said she kicked that door in. So I'm thinking it was his house or Wyatt's house because he said Wyatt collected all the phones. Oh, has there been any other information about the tip line going to the judge's number and all of that? I heard that on a, yeah, I don't know how real that was though, because some people were saying that was fake news. I haven't seen it twice. I don't even know what it is. Yeah, I don't know what it is. That would be why the pigs were the police was dispatched to her home that night. Okay. Warren said everyone was at his girlfriend's house that night at the pool party. Wasn't that Ava? People don't abandon their friends on an island either, but he's not saying that. Right, the highest point. I believe they got the phone from Warren. I may be wrong, but I'm thinking that that's where the phone was. I don't believe Tashima kicked in no door with those screams. Look, y'all gonna have me. Let me see. I wonder, I'm trying to remember what part of the interview that was. Because I want to hear what he said. I do remember the kicking in of the door when he said they come busting. Oh gosh. Let's see here. Is this the one about the phone? So we can listen to it with the phone. Okay, let me shoot this. It's the one because it says phone deleted.
Was that you were hesitant to give the phone over, give the statements. But then I think that there's a part associated with this that's being rumored out in the public, and that is the situation with the cell phone, potential deletion of messages, how the cell phone was retrieved. And I just want you to tell your side of this, because what we're getting from the media is that they literally had to, I don't know, coerce you guys into giving it back. You didn't know where it was at. You were hesitant to give the phone over, almost as they had to turn your wrist or twist your arm just to give it back. Right. Well, what happened with the cell phone thing? So let's go back to the first engagement you had when it comes to the family or somebody coming back to get the cell phone and keys.
No, I'm not saying that the number that they were calling, like that, the way it was put out, that they're wrong about that. I'm saying allegedly somebody was setting it up to make it look like it was going to that lady. So I don't know. Like I said, y'all, I mean, I saw that they did call in real time, or I saw Willie D call in real time, but someone said that someone purposely tried to set it up to make it look like. I don't know how true that is though, but it did appear when he called the sheriff's office, it's like they knew about it, which makes me think that it was really linked up like that. So I thought they said the phone was at Wyatt's house and the girl had to get it out of Wyatt's truck. Okay, that's what I'm about to listen to again. Because I was like, let's see if he gave any other clues about this phone, like the house. But I did hear Wyatt's truck.
That occur and what happened there?
Okay, well, that night, about 12:30, I went back to my buddy's house.
And you said the night of the 4th?
The night of the 4th, but it was about 12:30, I would like to say. And so I went back to my buddy's house. So I stayed the night before, where we all met up, and stayed together the night before. And my buddy got a call from this guy, and the guy was like, oh, like, what's going on with all this Nolan stuff? Very aggravated. I mean, yeah, every right to be, but I mean, we were trying to calm him down, and like, he was just like, oh, like, where are y'all at? My buddy said, we're at my buddy's house. And he said, all right. And then he just hung up. And so about 30 minutes later, I'd like to say, all of a sudden the door just got open and slammed. And there was a girl who walked in, and like probably about 8 or 9 guys behind her, and then another mom, which was Javon's mom.
Okay, see, he didn't say it. He just said my buddy. Wait a second. He said someone had called him. What's all this stuff about Nolan? Wait, what? And whoever it was, let me hear that again, because baby, he got a little nervous when he said they called him. Talking about what's all this stuff I'm hearing about Nolan. Oh my gosh, this is a hot mess. He never said a name.
Giving it back, you didn't know where it was at. You were hesitant to give the phone over, almost as they had to turn your wrist or twist your arm just to give it back.
Right.
Well, what happened with the cell phone thing? So let's go back to the first engagement you had when it comes to the family or somebody coming back to get the cell phone and keys. When did that occur, and what happened there?
Okay, well, that night, about 12:30, I went back to my buddy's house.
And you said the night of the 4th?
The night of the 4th, but it was about 12:30, I would like to say. And so I went back to my buddy's house. I stayed the night before, where we all met up.
Okay, y'all, where did he stay the night before? Oh my gosh, let me think. Which friend did he say he stayed with? Because it was in another part of the interview. Did he stay with Wyatt? Let me think. Who did he stay with Wyatt? I'm gonna have to go back and verify. So whoever he stayed at the night before, phenomenal. You got your notebook? I think it wasn't it Wyatt's? Okay, thank you. I thought so. Okay. Girl, I'm sleeping. I ain't at home with my notes. Okay. So he stayed the night before at Wyatt's house. Okay. He said 12:30 p.m. Now, remember, by then, oh Lord, your millionaire coming in saying Jax. Was it Jax? Okay, he stayed with Wyatt and Nolan. But wait a second. Hold up. Oh Lord, I didn't think I was going to do all this thinking right now. That would make sense though, because the keys and car were at Jack's house. It might have been Jack's that and the car were. Okay, so July 4th, 12:30. Okay, this is where he stayed the night before. It was Jack's. Okay. Ooh, child. Okay. The phone wasn't at Jack's. No, that's what we're trying to find out. Okay, so he spent the night before at Jack's house. Okay. Now, he went there about 12:30. He had already called, allegedly, the Coast Guard and Christine before this time at 12:30. Okay. All right. So I think we're on one accord. Jack's house. All right.
And stayed together the night before. And my buddy got a call from this guy, and the guy was like, oh, what's going on with all this Nolan stuff? Very aggravated. I mean, yeah, every right to be, but I mean, we were trying to calm him down, and he was just like, oh, where are y'all at? My buddy said, we're at my buddy's house, and he said, all right, and then he just hung up. And so
now, okay. Oh Lord, phenomenal said Wyatt's. You went to your book. But how would he be at Wyatt's if Nolan's car and the keys were at Jack's? Now, do y'all think the one that called him, do y'all think that was Javon or Jalen? Somebody that know them? Because he said, my buddy got a call, he didn't say who that buddy was, from a guy, and whoever it was, they had to calm him down. Now, remember, Jalen made a post that they have found out. Okay, J. Rose thinking it may be Jalen. Remember, he said he was out looking for Nolan for hours on the 4th. Okay, so I'm wondering, is this by the time Jalen had found out? He does. That's what I'm because Warren said he called Javon to get Christine's number. Jalen seems a little more gangster than Javon to me, in my opinion, too. So I wonder whoever it was one of the friends where they had to calm them down. Okay. And he asked, where are y'all? Now I'm thinking back to Tashima and Javon's conversation with Christine. They were like, well, no, we were showing that it was over to this house. Okay. Well, I think that it may, because when he said he opened up his Snapchat showed another location. Is that how he really found out where the phone was? Or is it when they called and they told them which house it was at? Okay, you see what I'm saying? If Nolan's phone, that's why I went back to, was Nolan's phone on, or did somebody at that moment open up his phone? Or, how were they able to tell Christine, no, it's not there, we're seeing it here? So did one of them get on the phone and find out that's where the phone was? Because I'm trying, because he's not saying the names, but he said my buddy got a call from a guy that they had to calm down after he was asking what's up with all this Nolan stuff and where's Nolan. And he was like, where are you at? That's when they told where they were. Okay, during that time. The details matter absolutely. However, with cross lawsuits and additional reward on Warren's behalf, this is going to settle for wrongful death with the stipulations of no criminal responsibility. Okay. That's what I was trying to figure out. He said he went to McDonald's for breakfast, but Nolan wasn't with him. He never called Jalen or Javon. He only called the YT, his buddies. Well, he didn't say buddy. He said a guy. What does guy mean? Okay, because he didn't say the guy's name either. Okay. Exactly. What happened? See, it's too much dead airtime without y'all being accounted for. Because you saying you went over there at 12:30. Where were y'all at since y'all left the island? Between 4:30 and 12:30. That's 8 hours. Where all did y'all go? Wait a minute. They share each other's locations on Snapchat. I know. Y'all are doing an excellent job because my brain's stuck on Rover. Clarinetta, don't have me laughing. Not my buddy. Okay, I'm telling y'all, pay attention. He says my buddy for someone he doesn't want to implicate, or one of his friends, right? But this guy wasn't a buddy. Pay attention to the use of the words, okay? Because he didn't say my other buddy.
The night of the 4th, but it was about 12:30, I would like to say. And so I went back to my buddy's house that I stayed the night before, where we all met up, and stayed together the night before. And my buddy got a call from this guy, and the guy was like, oh, what's going on with all this Nolan stuff? Very aggravated. I mean, yeah, every right to be, but I mean, we were trying to calm him down, and he was just like, oh, where y'all at? My buddy said, we're at my buddy's house. And he said, all right. And then he just hung up. And so about 30 minutes later, I'd like to say, all of a sudden the door just got open and slammed. And there was a girl who walked in, and probably about 8 or 9 guys behind her. And then another mom, which was Javon's mom. And
who's Javon? I want to put that in perspective. Who is Javon?
Javon is one of Nolan's good friends. He's a friend of mine too, great guy. And his mom and their family is, very close with, the Wells family. And so I don't know why she was there, what was going on, but I was very surprised by this. I was you just basically kicked the door open and, bust up in the house with no knock or anything.
So is Javon black or white?
Javon's mixed. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I guess he's mixed.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Well, so if he say guy, it means it's a black friend. Okay, because he didn't say my buddy on that. And why everybody got to be so aggressive? You see that? You see the difference? Oh, he called. We had to calm him down. Then they come busting up in there. Well, why they got to be so aggressive? When you refer to them in the story, yeah, pull up. Pull up. Everyone is a good guy. So the guy on the phone knew which buddy he was talking about. Yes, he did. So the phone was at Warren's house. No, I don't think it was. Because he said his buddies, remember? Right. You noticed that? He's just sitting there letting this boy lie to him. I'm like, no, wait a minute. Y'all, this is crazy listening to it all over again because it's certain things he's saying. Because, we watch it one time through, but each time you listen to something, something else stands out to you, right? And so this is still standing out to me like, who is the guy? And then I'm going to have to go back and make sure we correct on who he stayed the night with. Okay. Because that's how we do process of elimination. The phone and the keys and cars were not at the same house. So process of elimination means it couldn't have been Jackson's house because they said that the phone and car were there. So process of elimination, we know it couldn't be him. Warren said he went to where he spent the night. It can't be Warren's house. Okay, so was it Wyatt? Or was it the Simpson guy? I don't want to say his name, child. I'm thinking it was the Simpson guy. Wall said he confused. Yeah, the buddy is a person. One of his friends, he's not trying to get in trouble. Carrie said the Simpson guy probably. They were coached to say my buddy, because when Dirty Pants said a name, he said I messed up. Exactly, he did. Wait, I thought Warren said Wyatt boat was still in the water that night, alleged. He did. That's what we trying to figure out, Phenomenal Scorpio. Okay, so this is what we're gonna have to do. In order for us to figure that part out, I need to go back to where he talked about the house and them getting up. You see what I'm saying? And leaving for that day. Because this is not gonna work. We all confused. Now we all confused because we done forgot where he stayed. Okay, hold up. Let me go to that part. Because child, y'all not on it today. Look, we didn't think we were gonna do this thinking today. Okay, let me see here. Cause baby, this here, y'all acting like we him and we just aligned and making up stuff. This how folks get in trouble. Let's see. Let me go back. Cause I want to know. Okay. Okay, think I found what he's going to talk about. All right, here we go. Cause child, let's back it up a little. Cause child, we all over the place right now. I can't with y'all. Okay, y'all supposed to be having these notebooks ready, and y'all giving us all kind of stuff today. Okay, here we go.
Boating and fishing is very, very popular. The 4th of July, every year, my friends and I, or my family and I, are out on the water. I mean, that's the one day is guaranteed everybody's going out. And that's a known thing. Everybody's trying to get a ride out to Horn Island, or, people go to Ship Island, but most of everybody from Ocean Springs and the Gulf Coast go to Horn Island. And we went last year. Nolan was on the boat with me last year, and he was this was a common thing. My friends go on the boat when we're home. Very, very common. That's what we like to do. My friends like to fish also, and like to go on the boat, not just fishing, but like to go on the boat, like to go on sunset cruises, like to do it all, on the water, and Nolan loved to do that too. He was not like he was just like everyone else in our friend group. He loved to go on the water and, have a good time with the guys. And that's what we did a lot. But 4th of July, everybody was out there. Like I said, like Nolan was always trying to go on the boat, trying to go out there with us. And he was always welcome to come. Nolan was always out there with us. And, but started 4th of July, my buddies and I had talked about this week's upcoming, everybody's very, very excited for the 4th of July from down here. Like it's a big thing.
It's a big deal.
Very, very big deal. And, I actually stayed with Nolan that night at my buddy's house, and I woke up at my buddy's house, and we went to McDonald's, got food. Nolan was not with me. And, I went and got breakfast. I had my buddy's boat hooked up to my truck. And first I ran to my house, then I went to McDonald's and came back, and the boat was already hooked up to my truck. My buddy Wyatt and I went, and with my buddy, and we went, topped the boat off, loaded it down with ice, and just got everything ready. Then Wyatt went and put his smaller boat in the water, which is the Palm Beach. He's an 18-foot Palm Beach. And I drove the boat from Fort Bayou Boat Launch to my buddy's grandparents' house. And that's where we all planned to meet up that day.
Ooh. Okay. So 4th, Nolan, Warren, my buddy, Wyatt. Wyatt's boat hooked up to the truck. He also had a smaller Palm Beach. Now, he said that they took it to his buddies. You're saying my buddy Jax. He just said Wyatt. Oh my gosh. It was Jax's grandparents. So you're saying the grandparents' house when he took it over there. Because I thought he was saying the same buddy. Let's listen again to that little part.
Got breakfast. I had my buddy's boat.
It's a big deal.
Very, very big deal. And I actually stayed with Nolan that night at my buddy's house, and I woke up at my buddy's house, and we went to McDonald's, got food. Nolan was not with me. And I went and got breakfast. I had my buddy's boat hooked up to my truck. And first I ran to my house, then I went to McDonald's and came back, and the boat was already hooked up to my truck. My buddy Wyatt and I went, and with my buddy, and we went, topped the boat off, loaded it down with ice, and just got everything ready. Then Wyatt went and put his smaller boat in the water, which is the Palm Beach.
Wait a second. That's a lot of details, because if you think about it, he said they went for breakfast. He went to go get breakfast, but then he said he went to his house. Okay. And then he brought up Wyatt's neck. This too much. I'm gonna have to listen to this over and over because I'm gonna get on y'all nerves if I keep rewinding it. Because what did he go to his house for? What did he do there? Okay, because he's saying too many of my buddies. I went to my house. Oh, and Wyatt's boat was hooked up. It was on the truck. Then what? Why did you go to your house though? I thought, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who hooked the boat to the truck when they left to eat? Warren is lying. He remembers everything but what happened to Nolan on the boat. We all heard the Cito call. Okay. Yes, Wyatt did have two boats. He did. That's what I'm saying, Angel. I thought he said my buddy Wyatt. When he said Nolan is not with me, it shook his body moving, shifted. Can you okay. I did notice he got uncomfortable when he said that. Y'all, this a lot. Like seriously, even in just this one statement, it's multiple moving parts. Because why did he go back to his house in that moment? What happened at his house? Oh my gosh.
But started 4th of July, you know, my buddies and I had talked about this week's upcoming, you know, everybody's very, very excited for the 4th of July from down here. Like it's a big thing.
It's a big deal.
Very, very big deal. And I mean, I actually stayed with Nolan that night at my buddy's house, and I woke up at my buddy's house, and we went to McDonald's, got food. Nolan was not with me. And I went and got breakfast. I had my buddy's boat hooked up to my truck. And well, first I ran to my house, then I went to McDonald's and came back, and the boat was already hooked up to my truck. My buddy Wyatt and I went, and with my buddy, and we went, topped the boat off, loaded it down with ice, and just got everything ready. Then Wyatt went and put his smaller boat in the water, which is the Palm Beach. He's an 18-foot Palm Beach. And I drove the boat from Fort Bayou Boat Launch to my buddy's grandparents' house. And that's where we all planned to meet up that day. And
you say we all, who are you talking about? You, Nolan, and how many people are going to meet you guys there?
We had roughly 20 to 30 people coming on 3 separate boats with us. And so we were all following each other out there as one big group. You know, it wasn't just me and Nolan and a couple other of my buddies. There was 20 or 30 people spread out where we all met at the dock before, and then we departed to go to Horn Island. It wasn't just a couple of us. I mean, there were so many people, we had to split up between 3 boats, and we all left and all got there at the same time.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that's clear because.
Okay. They all left and got there at the same time. Okay. Phenomenal, you crazy. Buddy is more annoying than the man class. Okay. According to B's lawyer, he handed over his phone, GPS, and submitted a 20-name witness list. He didn't hide from it. If he's getting threats, it's from his own people. Yep. Warren and Wyatt met up at Jackson's grandparents. Probably going to grab booze and drugs. You know, they like to party. You silly old dude. I know. That's what I'm wondering. Who's Okay, so this is in Fort Bayou, right? Okay. So grandparents' house. How many grandparents involved? Because Ackerson, isn't that Wyatt's grandfather? Ackerson. I think that was Wyatt's grandfather, Jerry. TJ Rose, silly. Okay. Where's the 9 other people that came through the door with aggressive black women that didn't? Nika, they just kicked the door in. Yeah. Y'all, there's too many grandparents involved too. What? He drove the boat. So he drove the Palm Beach over to, but I don't think, was Traston with the group? I thought he was with his uncle. I don't know if he went with that group. I don't think Nolan was invited. Warren said Nolan was always trying to go. Nolan didn't help pack the boat. You know what? I caught that too. The way he put that, it's almost as if Nolan was being a burden on them, like they didn't want him to go. Because he said he was always trying to go with us. Like they have their little group. I picked up on that. Wyatt's grandparents lived in Fort Bayou. I don't know about any other grandparents. Oh, got you. Okay. Okay. It's just one set. So Jerry is the grandfather they're talking about right here, allegedly. Okay, so that's the same grandparent. Got you. I was about to say, we can't add no more grandparents. Oh, y'all, this is a lot. This one, you know what? It's a reason why I want to keep going back through this, and I'm going to spend more time here, is because we got to figure out when they make it back from the water retracing steps and going back to this phone call and where they were, all of that, because we spent a lot of time on the water and the bilge pump, so we ain't even made it back to land. It was a lot of stuff going on. That's like 8-hour gap. He's saying he went over to the friend's house at 12:30. That's when Tashima and them started coming over there around 12 something 1. But where were y'all at from the time y'all got back to the dock? Okay, remember they went to Fort Bio. It's a lot of gaps in time. We ain't even hit the surface. Okay, we still was trying to figure out after we heard that audio, we got stuck there, but it's so much that we're missing, like trying to fill in the gaps of when they got back. Papa put that call in. Okay, told y'all Nolan was not friends with the others. He was a friend of a friend. Everyone went to McDonald's. See, that's what I'm thinking too. How many set of grandparents? I thought he was saying 2. The way he was putting it, because Wyatt went there with their buddies' grandparents. Remember? To the he drove the boat over there. Watch. This is my last time I went to get
But I met his father, and I mean, in 8th grade, Nolan, that's when Nolan and I like got, but his dad would swing by while
the day of 4th of July, where you guys were all going out.
Right.
This seems like something that I would assume that may have occurred more than just this year.
Yeah, of course.
Was it something that you guys did more than just this year? It's a 2-part question. I want to know, is it something that you guys typically did together, that you hang out often in this fashion? And then I want you to then walk me through 4th of July this year when the incident happened.
Okay. You know, being from the Gulf Coast, there's a boating and fishing is very, very popular. The 4th of July, every year, my friends and I, or my family and I, are out on the water. I mean, that's the one day is guaranteed everybody's going out. And that's a known thing. Everybody's trying to get a ride out to Horn Island, or, you know, people go to Ship Island, but most of everybody from Ocean Springs and the Gulf Coast go to Horn Island. And, you know, we went last year. Nolan was on the boat with me last year. And he was, I mean, this was a common thing. My friends go on the boat when we're home. Very, very common. That's what we like to do. My friends like to fish also, and like to go on the boat, not just fishing, but like to go on the boat, like to go on sunset cruises, like just like to do it all, you know, on the water, you know? And, I mean, Nolan loved to do that too. I mean, he was not like he was just like everyone else in our friend group. He loved to go on the water and, you know, have a good time with the guys. And, that's what we did a lot. But 4th of July, everybody was out there. Like I said, like Nolan was always trying to go on the boat, trying to go out there with us. And he was always welcome to come. Nolan was always out there with us. And, but started 4th of July, you know, my buddies and I had talked about this week's upcoming, you know, everybody's very, very excited for the 4th of July from down here. Like it's a big thing.
It's a big deal.
Very, very big deal. And, I mean, I actually stayed with Nolan that night at my buddy's house, and I woke up at my buddy's house, and we went to McDonald's, got food. Nolan was not with me. And, I went and got breakfast. I had my buddy's boat hooked up to my truck. And well, first I ran to my house, then I went to McDonald's and came back, and the boat was already hooked up to my truck. My buddy Wyatt and I went, and with my buddy, and we went, topped the boat off, loaded it down with ice, and just got everything ready. Then Wyatt went and put his smaller boat in the water, which is the Palm Beach. He's an 18-foot Palm Beach. And I drove the boat from Fort Bayou boat launch to my buddy's grandparents' house. And that's where we all planned to meet up that day. And
you say we all, who you talking about? You, Nolan, and how many people are going to meet you guys there?
We had roughly 20 to 30 people coming on 3 separate boats with us. And so we were all following each other out there as one big group. You know, it wasn't just me and Nolan and a couple other of my buddies. There was 20 or 30 people spread out where we all met at the dock before, and then we departed to go to Horn Island. It wasn't just a couple of us. I mean, there were so many people, we had to split up between 3 boats, and we all left and all got there at the same time.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that's clear because the
Okay. I have a big, huge question. A big, huge question. I want to see, did anybody catch this part? Okay. Now, this is the part that's missing out of his whole before we get to the 20, 30 people at this grandparent's house. Okay. Now, he said him, Nolan, Buddy spent the night at Buddy's house. Now, there was a boat hooked up to his truck. Okay. Then Buddy, he said the Buddy and him, okay, they left. Nolan wasn't with them. Okay. Now, first he was about to take us to McDonald's. However, they made a stop at his house. Okay. After they stopped at his house, they went to McDonald's. Okay. Now, Wyatt had a smaller Palm Beach. Okay. So Wyatt, Palm Beach, Warren, he drove that on over to Buddy's grandparents. So Wyatt and Buddy, they all met up over to the grandparents' house. It was 20 to 30 people that met there. Question: how did Nolan get from the Buddy's house to the grandparents' house? Can somebody answer that? I mean, who took him? I'm just trying to understand, because he said they all spent the night, but Nolan didn't go to him. We didn't hear Nolan's name anymore in this whole time until they got to the boat dock. Okay, Kim, did I miss something? I mean, I'm just trying to understand. At what point was somebody going to pick up Nolan? So who did Nolan get to the boat dock with? Because y'all saying, Warren, you and Buddy, y'all left. Nolan, you specifically said Nolan was not with y'all. Then you said y'all were going to get breakfast, but you inserted, we went to my house. Then we went to McDonald's. There was a boat hooked to your truck, but Wyatt had a smaller Palm Beach. So you drove Wyatt's Palm Beach over to Buddy's grandparents' house. It seems like Wyatt and Buddy are still together in, I guess, his truck. How did Nolan get to the boat dock? He never put that in this story. Yes, you said, girl. I was asking why they left Nolan. Maybe that's how the truck ended up elsewhere. Oh my gosh, Bart, that's who he talking about, his buddy. Okay. Right, because when he was asked about who was at the grandparents' house, he inadvertently mentioned Nolan. It was 2 grandparents he mentioned, so that may explain what the heat was about, because they left him. Oh. Right, how did Nolan get to that island in the boat dock? How did he get there? Nolan rode with Jack. See, I don't want to assume. I'm just saying, I don't know how he got there. You think he's lying, Carrie? Because they did see him on the camera footage getting on the boat. So how did he get there? But wasn't Nolan's truck parked at no, at Jackson's house? So if Nolan wasn't with them, how did Nolan get to the island? No, it looks like he got to the boat lunch at his grandparents' house where everyone met up. But who did Nolan ride with to get there? This is how you can tell Tatum was a bad cop. So many clarified statements put out there. Mm-hmm. Right, J. Rose. Uh-huh. That's true. On the boat, you're talking about on the boat? Yes. Right. Was it the Simpsons' grandparents? I don't know. This is interesting, y'all. I'm gonna have to think this through. I done drew out a whole map over here while he was talking. I was writing stuff, like drawing it as a map so I can visually picture this. Yes, it was as if they did not want Nolan with them. You just think he lied that Nolan rode with them? I mean, this part, I don't see why it would be why would he have to lie here? Because we see on the camera footage that Nolan at least was on the boat going there. He's even told us which boat Nolan was in. My question is, how did Nolan get from the house where they were spending the night over to the grandparents' house where everyone left, from that grandparents' boat launch? Yeah, he said he had spent the night. Mm-hmm. Girl, you know what? Remember, there are phone towers that could track when he left the Boneyard's house and went to that island. And what did he do at his house? Why did he have to go back to his house? You said we better than him. He never made it to detective. Okay, y'all, we're going to have to pick this up. I got to get off because I got to do something right quick. But y'all, think that thing through, okay? Because that's a huge thing I had not thought about. How did Nolan get over to this boat launch? Did someone else? The reason, okay, y'all, this is, oh my gosh. I think this is going to help us connect another piece. Remember this, okay? If, I'm trying to think of how to word this. If we find out that perhaps, now I don't know if that person, I guess, would have had to have driven over there to launch their boat from there. But if there was someone else involved as far as giving Nolan a ride to this dock for them to leave, okay? Would it be possible that he would have came back with that same person on that boat? Because remember, there are 3 boats, okay? We've heard of the 2 coming back. We don't know when that 3rd boat came back. So if he went with someone else and they went to this boat lunch and left, and there are 3 boats, who all came back on the other boat? And when they came back, was Nolan on any of those boats? Now, we hear in the audio, though, them saying Nolan's name. So I'm curious to know. It's so many other questions because I'm just wondering, how did he get from that house, Buddy's house, where he spent the night, to the grandparents' house where they took off? There are 3 boats. Right. The Queen's Den. Right. Okay. Was that person supposed to take him back, or, you know what I'm saying? When did the 3rd boat come back? I'm still trying to figure that part out because they talk about the 2, but where's the 3rd boat in all of this? Right, Linda. Yes. Yes. Okay. All right. So y'all, we're gonna think on that. I gotta really go through that and rewind and think, because something's off with that. Something's off with that. I want to give a shout out to the mods in the building. Also our sponsors, Keno Sourball, T. Smith, Sharon, LaQuinta, Karen Michelle, Mama Magazine, and Tammy. Thank you, ladies, for being sponsors of today's live. Before the two left, right? Okay, they adding votes like they've been adding names. Okay, 30 people. We know it's 20 to 30 people. Right, Space Gate. Right. Okay. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining. Make sure y'all hit that like button. It is for free. Also, don't forget to hype up the video, subscribe, and hit that bell, because you never know when I'm going to go live. Thank you all so much for joining. Hope everyone has a great day. Stay out. Okay. I love you all. Y'all have a great day. Until next time. Bye-bye.
You just flip through truth with the open book. If you felt that heat, like share and stay locked in. Another chapter done, but we far from finished. Truth on the mic, yeah, we handle business. Real talk, no fluff, just facts and fire. From the book to the block, we taking it higher. The open book, every voice matters, every lie shatters. Catch you next page.